Hello and welcome to RTM News. My name is Emmy Akura Adaa. I'll be taking a look at the stories coming in our news for tonight, starting with the first stories coming from South Africa. Malema reiterated DA should let us run Tshwane. The EFF is to enter into talks with the DA in a bid to take control of Tshwane. Party leader Julius Malema said yesterday at a media briefing to reflect on its performance during the elections. The mayoral candidate is going to be the leader of the EFF in Tshwane. Let EFF leaders in Tshwane lead the municipality of Tshwane. Malema said the party was also in power sharing talks with the DA over the Johannesburg Metro. Referring to DA Mayor Stephen as a caretaker mayor, Malema said the party was not planning on challenging his position through a motion of no confidence. Let us do it in a manner that is not going to be disruptive. If the DA refuses, then these options will come in. But so far, we are talking and we don't foresee any hostilities about the possibility of power sharing. We will have a mayor in Tshwane. The DA will have MMC's member of the mayoral committee. The DA will have a mayor in Johannesburg, and the EFF will have MMC, he stated. Staying in South Africa, Duduzane Zuma was not speeding in court hears. It is unlikely that Duduzane Zuma was driving at a speed with his Porsche 911 turbo crashed into a minibus taxi, killing a woman. Forensic engineer and accident reconstruction expert Conrad Lothar told the Randburg Magistrate Court yesterday. Duduzane, son of former President Jacob Zuma, faces a culpable homicide charge after his car crashed into the taxi just after the Greyston Drive off-ramp on the M1 in Sandton, killing Phumzile Dube. Lothar corroborated the defense argument that Zuma's Porsche had lost control after he had hit a puddle of water. He said it was possible that the vehicle lost control due to aquaplaning. It was not necessary that it would have done so at an excessive speed, Lothar testified. And in the last story coming in the user segment, DA Gwen declines a seat in Parliament. The Democratic Alliance, former head of policy, Gwen Mgweya, has declined to take up a seat in Parliament. She announced these in a post to her Twitter account on Thursday morning. Mgweya, who resigned as head of the party's policy unity in January, said she would like to work on issues at the nexus of tech and public policy. She added, "There are great people who will be on those benches." Before wishing the parties a successful term, Gwen was formerly the Chief Operating Officer of the Institute of Race Relations. She resigned as policy head in a scathing letter to DA leader Musim Maimane about the development and implementation of policy, criticizing leadership for not taking it seriously. After the short break, we will continue with the rest of Africa. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment. For spiritual messages uplifting your soul, we are here. RTM, RTM, RTM. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. Education and entertainment. For spiritual messages uplifting your soul, we are here. RTM, 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 RTM. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi. Education and entertainment. For spiritual messages uplifting your soul, we are here. RTM, 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 RTM. Redemption Television
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. Museveni wants to ruin me financially, Bobby Wine said. Uganda's opposition legislator Robert, popularly referred to as Bobby Wine, says the government has embarked on a mission to ruin him financially by blocking his concert and intimidating his business partners. Bobby Wine is one of Uganda's top singers and mostly belts out reggae and rap ballads. He has many fans across East Africa and is one of the top earning musicians in Uganda. Wine has rattled Museveni's government with his growing support base since he joined politics 2 years ago. They are seeking to strangle me financially, he said. All the music sound services providers, stage service providers, music promoters have been ordered not to work with me. The regime is trying to attack me from multiple fronts. Security forces have cancelled at least 124 planned concerts since he joined parliament in 2017. Wine told Reuters in an interview at his home in a suburb in the northern outskirts of the capital, Kampala. Staying in this segment, Burundi to seize the property of government critics. Burundi's government has continued to defy calls to resolve a political crisis in the country, with the latest order by the Supreme Court for the seizure of assets belonging to opposition activists in exile being widely condemned. The ruling applies to 32 political rights campaigners and journalists living abroad, and also to 9 military officers jailed in Burundi over a 2015 coup attempt, according to a statement by the Prosecutor General and Supreme Court President. In a statement late yesterday, Prosecutor General Sylvester said he had informed the Registrar of Land Titles that buildings that belong to people on the list must be seized. Vitar, one of the opposition politicians in exile named in the ruling, said it made a mockery of Burundi's judicial system. And in the last story coming in this segment, Zimbabwe pays $64 million to white farmers who lost land under Mugabe. Compensation payments have been made to white farmers in Zimbabwe who lost their farms in a controversial land reform policy under the erstwhile Robert Mugabe-led government. Financial Minister Mthuli Mkube is quoted by the state-owned Herald newspaper as saying 93 farmers had so far benefited to the tune of $64 million over the last decade. The report added that the payments made in 2018 were for immovable improvement that the farmers had made on the seized land. In 2018 alone, $12 million was paid to 29 farmers. In the 2019 national budget, we set aside $53 million for the same purpose. He is quoted as saying, according to him, efforts were still underway to trigger more disbursement via a verification exercise, given that the government had identified more farmers who needed to be duly compensated. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our Nigerian story. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM,
You're still watching RTM News. Let's take a look at the stories coming in our Nigerian stories. Paris Club refund. FG set to pay 649 billion final tranche to states. The federal government will soon release a sum of 649.43 billion naira as the final refund for the Paris Club debt to state governments. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, gave the figure yesterday in Abuja during a media briefing on the activities of her ministry. Those present at the media briefing were the Comptroller General of Customs, Hamed Ali, the Director General Debt Management Office, Patient Oniha, the Management Director, Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, and the Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission. The Finance Minister said the amount had already been verified by the ministry as the outstanding balance to be refunded to the state government. Staying in Nigeria, PDP threatened to sue FG ministers over accusations of threat to democracy. The national leadership of the People's Democratic Party is perfecting plans to drag the federal government and the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, to court over the allegation leveled against it that it was planning to sabotage the government. Investigations by the media in Abuja yesterday showed that the former ruling party was taking the allegation seriously and that its national leaders had agreed to challenge the claim by the government in court. It was, however, not clear if former Vice President Atiku Abubakar would also be dragging the federal government to court on the matter. His spokesperson, Paul Ibe, told the media that he had yet to have a conversation with him, Atiku, over the issue. And taking a look at the last story coming in Nigeria, EFCC arrests Kwara lawmaker elected for 26 million naira property scam. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested a member-elect of the Kwara State House of Assembly, Adugafa Ayinla, for alleged involvement in a property scam, forgery, and obtaining 26 million naira under false pretenses. Ayinla, who is expected to be inaugurated on May 29, 2019, reportedly confessed to the crime and that he finances political campaigns with the money. The acting EFCC spokesperson, Tony Orilade, said in a statement in Abuja yesterday that the suspect promised to pay back when he received his wardrobe allowance from the Kwara State House of Assembly. The petitioner, who resides in the United States of America, had alleged that Ayinla, a legal practitioner, was introduced to her by her late aunt as capable of assisting her to purchase some properties in Ilorin. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our international stories. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. Danish PM suggests coalition with main opposition to avoid political chaos. Danish Prime Minister Liza Loke voiced readiness on Thursday to form a governing coalition with the Social Democrats after the June 5 election to help curb the influence of smaller, more extreme parties. Given that Rasmussen's center-right Liberal Party is trailing in pre-election polls, however, it might have to hand the responsibility for forming a new government to Social Democratic leader Mette. Following the vote, Rasmussen's minority government has been relying on support from the right-wing populist Danish People's Party to pass laws and has presided over a toughening of laws to curb immigration into the Nordic welfare state as a result. Staying in this segment, Modi proclaims a cleaner India, but the reality may be more murky. Every morning around dawn, thousands of people gathered by the dusty banks of a stream smaking through Shikrawa village, 2 hours south of India's capital, New Delhi, to do the same thing, defecate into the open. There are close to 1,600 houses in Shikrawa, and I know for a fact that some 400 of those don't have toilets, said Khurshid Ahmed, a village council official in Shikrawa, which is located in the northern state of Haryana. Federal government records say Haryana, with its population of more than 25 million, is quickly clean. The state, along with most others in India, is classified open defecation free, while a World Bank-supported nationwide survey says only 0.3% of the Haryana's rural population defecates outside. Taking a look at the next story coming in this segment, the U.S. Pompeo meets with Hong Kong pro-democracy leaders. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with the Hong Kong pro-democracy leader Martin Liu yesterday, the State Department said. Secretary Pompeo expressed concerns about the Hong Kong government's proposed amendments to the Fugitive Ordinance Law, which threaten Hong Kong's rule of law, the department said in a statement. He also expressed support for Hong Kong long-standing protection of human rights, fundamental freedoms, and the democratic values which are guaranteed under the basic law, it said. And those are all the stories we have for you in our international stories. After the short break, we will continue with our sports stories. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
You're still watching RTM News. Let's take a look at the stories coming in our sports stories. Pep Guardiola, Man City manager, says winning is so addictive. Manchester City's manager Pep Guardiola says winning is so addictive as his side go in search of an unprecedented domestic treble on Saturday. They face Watford in the FA Cup final by 5 p.m. at Wembley, a match you can watch live on BBC One and the BBC Sports website. City have already retained the Premier League title and won the Carabao Cup, When you win, you take a shower, and then you want to win the next one, and then the next one, Guardiola told the BBC Sport. Staying in the sports story, Israel Folau sacked by Rugby Australia for social media post. Israel Folau's contract has been terminated by Rugby Australia after he said he awaited gay people in social media posts. The Waratahs fullback 30 was sacked in April but requested a hearing which was heard by a 3-person panel. They found him guilty of a high-level breach of RA's Players' Code of Conduct and have upheld the dismissal. Folau, who has won 73 caps and was contracted with RA until 2022, has 42 hours to appeal against the decision. He escaped punishment for similar comments last year. Staying in sports, it's Italian Open. Roger Federer saves a 2-match point to beat Bowman Coric. World number 3, Roger Federer saved a 2-break point in defeating 13th seed Bowman Coric 2-6, 6-4, 7-6, 9-7 to reach the quarterfinals of the Italian Open. Federer, playing in the event for the first time since the 2016, beat Joan Souza in straight sets earlier in the day. Coric, 22, had not played since beating Cameron Noria on Tuesday and returned superbly to raise 4-0 ahead, but Federer, 37, won in 2 hours 31 minutes. There were comfortable wins for Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. Taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Lawn Tennis Association accounts show a loss of £8.8 million loss for 2018. The Lawn Tennis Association made a loss of £8.8 million last year and has lost more than £12 million in 2 years. This is despite British tennis governing body getting a £7.2 million increase in revenue from Wimbledon in 2018. BBC Sport reported in November how the loss for 2018 could be as high as £7.5 million, a figure the LTA described at the time as widely inaccurate. The latest figure follows losses of £3.6 and £1 million in the previous 2 years and a profit of £1.2 million in 2015. The LTA does, though, have vast reserves and will receive 90% of the surplus from Wimbledon until 2053. And those are all the stories we have for you in our news for tonight. See you again on Monday. Same time, same station. Do have a wonderful weekend.
Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. Well, for quality programs, why education